Hey guys, this is Vince with Practical Performance. This is part 6 of the convertible specific front gusset cups for the VinceBar kit. Again, this is design videos. These are design videos, I'm sorry. So as discussed in the previous video, this piece that we cut off has the weld-on nut. I'm going to cut this off, cut the corners here just a little bit slightly, and then hopefully I can twist this loose and just grind it flat in order to show you the rest of the design. It needed a bit more convincing than I thought it would, but having cut the corners a little bit on, you can't be shy about that. You need to cut kind of far into it. I started off using a large disc, but I usually save my worn discs, and it was easier to get one of the worn discs sort of in here to get the corners. And then from having it put that way, I tightened it this way and started off using an adjustable wrench to get around it and twist. But I found the number 14 wrench was a lot more convenient. So starting to wiggle it, I found that a couple of convincing taps with a rubber mallet, or plastic mallet in this case, did the job. So the nut is off. I'm just gonna grind that a little bit flatter, and we'll move on to showing you the rest of the design. We're now back inside the familiar convertible, and after I ground the surface on the back here nice and smooth, removing the high spots, I've for the sake of showing this, illustrating it, I just taped this back on. When you do this for real, there will be a different, I'll get to that. So the other thing I've done since the last episode is update the template, the CAD file. I added all the, so again, this is for the epoxy rivet version. That's when you will remove the nut, the welded on nut. For the weld version, that's not going to be necessary. So anyway, I updated this. I added all the rivet holes, and I also updated the, what I call the reinforcement plate that now goes on the back side. So these two holes, let's see here if I can get that to work. There you go. These two holes right here, they line up. And what you will be doing is you will be adding temporary screws. There will be I forgot to mention that actually. Let's put that. So this obviously will be a sheet metal piece as well. There will be a new nut, weld nut, added to the back side here. So for that sake, for the cover that goes over here, which I call the cap in the previous video, I'm not sure why, you will be using that nut to put the screw in. In the case of installation, you will just use a screw here, clamp that together, and use a temporary screw over here to clamp it together. So that way you have the front plate, the back reinforcement plate. This is the face plate, the reinforcement plate back here. You have the piece that's loose, and you clamp them together, and now you can drill all the so this will be a plate as well, obviously with the holes already done, and you can drill all the rivet holes, take it apart, then add the epoxy, and then clamp it together using this screw here, all the rivets, and you could probably also use the temporary screw over there until the epoxy hardens, cures, I should say. So that's kind of the idea. What I'll do now is I will use a marker pen. I will put the marker pen on each one of these rivet hole markings, and that should actually make a marking in the on the structure here of the car, and we'll see how that works out. So I've now used the felt pen, the marker, to create a dot. I've sort of pushed that against the paper. This will not obviously be a part of the installation. This is just to check for myself and show you where these rivet holes go and give you an idea why they are there. You would think it's weird not having anything right here, but that's where this large hole is. So what we'll do now is I'll remove the paper template, and hopefully, if all goes well, yes it does, we will see where the rivet holes will be. So it's kind of tight right here. Now, given that given that I drilled this at an angle, the incorrect angle before I created the guide sleeve, there is less material here than there will be during a correct installation, or I shouldn't say correct, but a later installation, I should say. So there it is tight with the rivets here. It's not much to do about that. We have 4 holes here, on 2 on each side of that sort of joint there. Same thing here. It actually did show right there. I didn't think it would show on the blue tape. There's one there, and then over here, this is where we have 2 layers. I was doing my best to get that. It's a very good anchoring point. And then we have the ones down here, and we can sort of barely, well actually here you can see it, sort of how it comes in here. So we have a couple of here to keep it pushed in. That will be an area you need to form. And well, that's kind of it really. That's the design. So I will be sending the, well actually there's one more thing. Per suggestion from my friend, he said, you know what? It's not going to be easy for people to cut that correctly. And if they don't, it's not going to really fit together. So what I did is I created this file here. Well, the CAD file that I created this from. I will send that off for laser cutting as well, and send that with the kit. So you will be screwing that in there. And at that point, there will be obviously the weld nut will be there. So you just tighten it hand tight, and then you mark this up on both sides, and you will have a perfect cut. So it will fit all nicely together. So I'll send these files off to laser cutting after I have finished the left side. And as I mentioned in a previous video, you would think these are, you know, just symmetric, but they're not. So I need to do some extra work there as well to make that work out. And once I have this laser cut, I will probably get back at that point, if not sooner. Well, I will get back at that point, but I'm not sure that it makes sense to make a movie before that, another movie before that, a video I should say. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like.